Hello and welcome to CBC Arts Exhibitionists. I'm your host, Amanda Paris. Most institutions just use Black History Month as an occasion to make a token acknowledgement to communities they ignore the rest of the year. But today, we are going to take it as an invitation to shine a spotlight on some of the Black artists we recognize all season long. Today you'll meet an artist who in her 60s is finally finding her audience, a poet grappling with the harsh realities of police violence, a composer and writer who is telling the story of Salem's first accused witch, and a young female rapper taking the music industry by storm. I hope you're ready because I am. This is CBC Arts Exhibitionists. The first time I met Gloria Swain, she was dancing outside in the snow at a protest as the crowd yelled, "Go, Auntie!" She turned to me and said, "This is what 60 looks like." Auntie Gloria is an artist and activist who you'll remember because of her epic dance moves, provocative abstract paintings, and courageous battles against racism, ageism, and poverty. Take a look.
In the next 5 years, I'm gonna be rich, bitch. No, don't lie. Okay, sorry. My name is Gloria Swain. I'm an artist, a photographer, activist, mother, grandmother. That's it. This is my baby. Oh, that feels good, yeah. Who your daddy? I rescued her in November from a shelter. When I'm working here, she'll sit there and watch me. So this is just the gloss to go on, and it seals the paint, right? So even if it gets wet, the paint won't come off. Just me and my cat, so I spend a lot of time by myself, and it's easy for me to create when I'm by myself. Oh, since I was a kid, I've always done art. I thought I was going to grow up to be a teacher because I love to do art and I love to teach and I love to talk. Duh. So I thought that was my journey, but this is more fun. So I became an artist. This is the finished product. Pretty? Is she pretty like me? Yes, she is. I started in the early 90s doing abstract paintings. The work that I was doing, I didn't do it to show in public. Basically, I just did it, painted, and left it in storage. So it was my little secret world. The art world, especially in Toronto, is very youth-oriented. So it's not a lot of spaces for someone like me to navigate through, right? To have Karen Carter from band invite me in was very empowering. I had never shown just my abstract work. They didn't know me for that. They knew me for my installations. They knew me for my dancing and all of that stuff. So band was like an opportunity to say, okay, this is what I do. I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black artist. This is Black art. So these three pieces here, it starts to collect the Black, White, and Gray collection. And it looks at the history of Black pain. So the white, of course, would be, I call this the residue of colonization. And the Black one, this is an illustration of when a slave was beaten, they would heal with keloids. All of my work is textured. There's always something beneath the painting. And there's always going to be stories beneath the stories that I don't want to talk about, that I can't talk about, that I'm not ready to talk about. So it's always like a hidden story up under all of my work. 2018 was bad. February, I lost my home because of the high rents when they removed the caps. For 3 days, I was homeless, didn't know where I was going. Moved into seniors building where I did not fit in at all. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So 2018 was like, that was 2018. It's like, you know, your body wants to get up, but your mind says, no, not yet. You got two choices. You can laugh, you can cry. I've cried enough. I just recently started using color on my canvases because I've basically just used like the black, white, and gray or just dark colors. I'm opening up more, I'm bringing in like more colors, more blues, but still that's the makeup to cover up. I'm still covering up, but I'm slowly opening up. That's it. What? Okay, I'm done.
Hi, my name is Benny Bing, and I'm an artist from Toronto, currently living in Regent Park. I'm your exhibitionist in residence this week, and you're going to be seeing my paintings which feature bold, colorful representations of women of color. Take a look.
Coming up, you'll hear Prince Amoko perform his powerful poem for Black lives in the face of injustice.
My name is Prince Amoko, and the name of this poem is If I watched them try to colonize Colin Kaepernick, but couldn't take his shit from him. Cause what he knelt for will always be greater than what you stood for. North America will never be great again. Tell your mama, tell your friends that the Reaper is coming. Little by little, we solving this riddle, our future is brittle. The Grim Reaper took my soul when the man who killed me was acquitted. Ain't nothing new, except for the facts that I've been telling you. I know the color of my skin reflects the moon, but doesn't reflect bullets, cause my melanin ain't Black Panther vibranium bulletproof. But when I die, I still shout Wakanda forever, forever and ever, amen. I watched a young black boy bleed out the scriptures his mama once whispered in his ear. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Then mama, why was the white man's cane able to beat me down and the life of my blood making no sounds to heaven? While my blood danced and maneuvered through the cracks and pebbles on the ground as I watched lifelessly, what a sight to see. My mama screaming in the streets, young black boys, please don't drive cars with your families. Rest in peace, Philando Castile. Young black boys, aim for the stars, but don't get caught under them. That's when the police will beat you like Rodney King, cause at night is when men and officers turn beasts. But mama didn't know getting caught at night now is obsolete, cause they can kill us in broad daylight with our hands behind our back, face down, constantly screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't. Rest in peace, Eric Gardner. But officer, I can see your intentions. Your heart is filled with melanin cause you're just as dark as me. And even though this city was built off the backs of my ancestors, there's no need to walk all over my back. Literally, I got a mother, a father, a brother, a sister who are all home right now waiting for bow. Mama, I watched them kill one of my brothers and put him in the dirt. And I know that you said no weapon formed against me shall prosper, but Mama, I really don't want to get hurt. So maybe, just maybe, Mama, no weapon formed against me will not prosper is only true if I shoot first. Just seeing the injustice happening over the past couple of years, starting with Trayvon, Eric Gardner, and all those individuals just really inspired me to write something, because like I feel like I connected with them on some kind of level, because that could be me, right?
If you want to see more young poets speaking their truth, check out our digital series, Poetic License, available to watch now on CBC Arts. You may remember the name Tituba from Arthur Miller's The Crucible, or from the TV shows Salem and American Horror Story. Tituba was an enslaved woman who arrived in the US from the Caribbean and became famous after she was the first person tried in the Salem witch trials. Her story has been told many times, but Nicole Brooks is one of the few to tell it from Tituba's perspective, and to do so through incredible music. Take a look.
Hey, child! Can't you hear me calling your name? I don't you know the how from whence you came? I don't you know as much as I'm true. You need to call on me. Now I got call on you, traveling.
It's taken 10 years to really get the vision and the complete version up on its feet. When it began in 2008-2009 season with Be Current, which is a small Black theater company in Toronto, I started with 10 minutes. And then from there, it built almost every year, 10 minutes, then to 20 minutes, then to 30 minutes. And then I heard about the Pan Am Games. It was mounted there, but I still didn't have enough resources. My soul isn't going to rest till this piece becomes what it's supposed to be. Most people know Tituba through Arthur Miller's Crucible, but she was there for like all of 2 sentences. And what bothered me about it is she's the catalyst. She is the first woman accused, and she sort of just goes away and then becomes the white woman's plight of being a witch. So when I began to research more about her, in the Puritan documents, I found the word Obeah a couple of times, and I was like, what do Puritans know about Obeah? Knowing full well that that's a Caribbean term, loosely meaning witchcraft. So I said, there's got to have been more than Tituba as a Black Caribbean woman in that time. So when I started to look through the historical documents, lo and behold, they were there.
It doesn't matter what either of you say. Let's continue on in our duty.
So there's a slight pause there, Mel, before that action. And then the Reverend comes in with, what are you doing, stupid women?
So can the Reverend start that by himself, and then we come in with the woos, because we'll have no idea what the key is if that happens.
The musical director actually for this work, for me, is more important than the stage director or the choreographer. Sorry, Prime and Leslie, I love you. But because it's an opera, literally, it's a full play that's sung, I knew that the person had to be right.
Something here like a little. Can we try that again? And go. Show.
My role as a musical director is to helping shape the piece, because there's many different styles of music that represent the African diaspora. What we are doing here is very, very intense, and it brings up so many things in all of the women and the people involved.
When we were brought over as enslaved Africans, we were told that everything about us was wrong and evil. So immediately, if I thought back in the day that Obeah was my spiritual practice and it was right, the colonizers told me it was wrong. Therefore now, 400 X amount years later, it is now wrong. I'm saying in this play, no, I'm reclaiming back, and I'm taking back my word, and I'm saying it is good.
The process for me has been really interesting. In the beginning, it was all oral tradition. Literally, I would sing each part to everybody.
So I stand in my mother's name and those before her.
I basically recorded every song and sung every part for people to understand what was in my head.
Who inherited the shame for all the women who will never be the same.
People had a problem with me using the word opera, to be perfectly honest, because it is so steeped with, European classical music, and I'm also not sticking to one genre.
I so
But through music, the content is easier to swallow and to really absorb what's being said. It's a softer blow to have all these beautiful harmonies, talk about some real hardcore topics that most people want to avoid talking about. We got to break some ideologies and beliefs about history and how we look at ourselves as Black people. You know, we have to demystify slavery. We have to demystify who we are and break these stereotypes and really step into our power.
Coming up, the first rapper to ever win the Polaris Prize shows us where it all began. When Haviah Mighty won the Polaris Prize last year, she became the first rapper to ever win in the 14-year history of this prestigious award. Her album is singular, and her performance is electric. She's doing it all unapologetically, claiming her space as a young Black female musician, not afraid to speak her truth. Take a look.
The winner of the Polaris Music Prize 2019. For 13th floor, Haviah Mighty!
Hip-hop culture has always had a huge influence on me as an artist, but there haven't been that many female MCs around and to look up to. It's a very exciting time in Canadian music where artists like Haviah Mighty are changing all of that. We're here in Brampton, en route to her studio to learn more about Haviah Mighty and what drives her.
Hi. Hey, how are you? I'm Haviah Mighty. I'm a singer, rapper, producer, DJ. Most people know of me as a rapper who sings, and I am a creative who is from Canada. Yeah, so this is my house. I live with my mom, my dad, my little brother. All my big sisters moved out and they're big girls now, so it's just me left. And yeah, this is the pad.
I love how your parents just put you right at the entrance.
Yeah, it's nice. My mom painted these other two pictures.
Whoa.
So.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, there's just a lot of...
Mother-daughter art wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's a reminder that they're proud, I think, for me too. Yeah. And for them, I guess it's a reminder that I'm working hard and maybe I'll buy them a new house one day. The early performance elements, that comes from being 4, 5, 6 and just doing it with my older sisters. And we were the Mighty Sisters. We performed at the airport and Caravana. I guess our parents were our managers. So these are all my sisters actually. That's me, Omega, Navla, Alicia. And I remember my sisters always all being more outgoing on stage than me. And I was very reclusive, super nervous and shy. So I feel I was very introverted on stage, and it took so many years to get where I am now.
Like Lauren and the Fuji should be killing softly. So many times you tell me that you're really sorry, but all I really hear is that you're wishy-washy.
Before you get to my studio, it's my dad's studio. This whole basement, this is all his stuff here. His drums, all his gear, his turntables. I think my parents are just a good representation of what music can mean to a person. I can think back to so many days where my dad was just wiring up his sound system and little old me is walking around. Yeah. My dad also makes clothes, so he probably stitched this. But yeah, he's very creative. And I feel those outlets come out in me. And then this is my studio. Yeah, I think when I write music, I really try to write from a position of learning. So whether I just learn something about myself, or I learn something about my history, or I learn something about my people, when I got out into the world, more so in high school, that's when I learned that a lot of our family representation is hardship and struggle and brokenness. Some of my friends didn't have dad in the house, or they didn't have mom in the house. I just feel lucky that I had that. Learning about who I am as a person has made me a better musician. Me being inspired by my parents, me being inspired by my sisters, it kind of amalgamated into this person that I am now.
More secured in, I can't remember being. Never in my being, energy is gleaming. But you move results like Cash's team is 1, 2, 3.
The story of a young black female, their wants, their needs, their loves, their passions, and their experiences on a day-to-day, I feel like there has been void of an audience of that for a majority of my life. I know now, after the album coming out, after winning the Polaris Music Prize, that people are willing to have this dialogue. People are actually willing to have this discussion now in ways that they've never been for the majority of my life. So, I mean, it makes my passion heightened.
Thank you. Only 8 years old. Thank you.
If you're looking for even more Black artists to support this Black History Month, check out the latest edition for my column, Black Light. I've created a roundup of arts and culture events across the country, including the exhibition, They Forgot That We Were Seeds. This show in Ottawa brings together powerful Black and Indigenous women visual artists who reimagine Canadian history and use it to create a decolonized future. You can see the work of artists like Deanna Bowen, Bushra Junaid, and Meryl McMaster. It opens at Carleton University Art Gallery this week. If you have an artist that you think should be on CBC Arts Exhibitionist, send me a message on social media. Our handle is @CBC Arts. Tune in next week when we'll be doing another deep dive into the captivating work of Canadian artists. Peace.